Welcome back to my channel. It's such a cliche YouTube thing to say. I haven't been on YouTube for a while, so I thought I would do a little update about my current situation on sort of what I want to use this channel for. In the past, I've sort of done a lot of videos regarding health and fitness or other things. So I thought today I would just share some thoughts on, where we're at in life regarding like the human race and our current generation and things going on in our world, like the Black Lives Matter movement, and obviously what things COVID has done to sort of change what we do. Just recently, really, like, that's been impacting me a lot has been thinking about pride. So what does pride actually look like in our lives? Because it's quite easy to sort of not understand what pride is and what it looks like. I know for me, I definitely not really understood what pride meant. It was almost like pride is this thing that when you do something well, you're like, oh, I'm proud of this, or oh, you should be proud of that. Like a mum looking at her kid doing something, which is true, but actually the pride that we talk about in terms of that can be bad for us is when we look at ourselves rather than thinking about others. So that can also look like being overconfident or egotistical, or thinking about that we're better than other people. So that's where humility comes in. Humility isn't necessarily looking about less of yourself, it's about looking at yourself less. So it's looking at what other people are doing, looking at things that you're doing and not thinking about, oh, I'm better than them, or I'm not going to move or change my opinion because of, I believe that I'm right about everything. And I know that that's something I struggle with. I just wanted to look at a passage in 1 Peter where Peter's talking about things that we can do to become more like Jesus. And he's talking about being humble. So he's talking in verse 6, chapter 5, verse 6, 1 Peter. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. That's so good when it's talking about humble yourselves under God's mighty hand, but then this thing of that he will lift you up in due time. It's like you may have to sacrifice something, or you may have to look at yourself and be like, oh, I'm not actually happy where I'm at because I'm not focusing on myself. But actually in due time, the Lord will lift you up by being humble. And I think that's one thing that struck me about the Black Lives Matter movement as well. It's you have these two opposing positions. It's like on the one side you have the Black Lives Matter movement where people are saying, look, we need to create equality for everybody. And we look at what the Bible says about that, and Paul talks about there is no Jew, Gentile, male or female, we're all equal, we're all one. And on the flip side, you then have this all-inclusive thing, which is like all lives matter. And my argument for it is, why create an all lives matter movement when, if now there is this culture shift about Black Lives Matter, that people are listening, that things are starting to change. If you're really for everybody, why create something that is opposing the movement and the change that's going on? And I think we could all just do with being more humble and thinking about how other people can have a lot of input. Are we, doing things for ourselves? Are we trying to put things online to make us feel better about ourselves? Are we posting a photo of ourselves so that we get more likes, or because we look good and we feel ourselves today and we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to post this so I can get some quick affirmation from people? That's something I've struggled with, looking at what I do on Instagram. It's like I'm just posting photos left, right and centre, but actually when I'm looking at how is that impacting other people, is that helping other people? No. So am I being prideful about thinking about myself? All the time I'm thinking about how is this benefiting me rather than how is it benefiting other people. And I think I've had to have a hard look at myself and thinking, is all I'm doing in life actually benefiting me, or is it helping to benefit other people? And I think that's where we can find a lot of joy as well. I think there's no coincidence, by serving other people and doing things for others, we can feel the sense of joy. And don't get me wrong, that's not about flipping our perspective just to do things for others so we end up feeling good. That's not what I'm saying. It's more, do we have this posture of looking outward and thinking about other people first, and how that can then impact us in the long run by changing how we think. How does that impact us in situations when someone gives an opinion or has a discussion? Do we instantly shut them down and say, no, this is what I think and you need to follow what I think? Or is it being open and being more critical about ourselves and just loving people? I think right now we just need a lot of love, and people need to think about how the actions we are making and the things we're putting out into the world, how is that impacting other people? Is it spreading positivity? Is it helping other people? And I think that's really what I want to start doing, is doing things which are going to impact people positively and help people think. And looking back at what I used to post on YouTube and the gym and stuff, the gym's a good thing, health is a good thing. But I think I started to create this idol in my life, which was where I found a lot of my gratification. It was that, okay, look, I can work on myself, I can go to the gym 2 hours a day, I can put the work in, potentially more than other people will, and I will get a result from that. But that's quite a shallow way of looking at life, and I think I found gratification in doing that. And now I'm at a place where I'm thinking, how can I impact people in the long run? How am I actually going to affect people in real life on a deep level, how they're going to change their thinking, and bring people with me and disciple people and nurture people and just try and be a positive figure for people in their lives. I think that's where I'm trying to shift, and I think that's a challenge for all of us. How can we be impacting others in a positive way, which ultimately is going to impact society and the other people around us? So yeah, those are a few thoughts on pride and humility. But anyway, thank you for watching, listening to my TED Talk, and God bless, peace out.